Lovely Sunday for Creve Coeur by Tennessee Williams. Scene 1. It is late on a Sunday morning, early June, in St. Louis. The interior is what was called an efficiency apartment in the period of this play, the middle or late 30s. It is in the west end of St. Louis. Attempts to give the apartment brightness and cheer have gone brilliantly and disastrously wrong. And this wrongness is emphasized by the fiercely yellow glare of light through the oversized windows which look out upon vistas of surrounding apartment buildings. Vistas that suggest the paintings of Ben Shahn, the dried blood horror of lower middle class American urban neighborhoods. The second thing which assails our senses is a combination of counting and panting from the bedroom to the left, where a marginally youthful but attractive woman, Dorothea, is setting up exercises with fearful effort. Sound. 91. Ha. 92. Ha. 93. Ha. 94. Ha. This breathless counting continues till 100 is achieved with a great gasp of deliverance. At some point during the counting, a rather short, plumpish woman, early middle-aged, has entered from the opposite doorway with a copy of the Big Sunday St. Louis Post-Dispatch. The phone rings just as Bodie, who is hard of hearing, sits down on the sofa in the middle of the room. Bodie, absorbed in the paper, ignores the ringing phone, but it has caused Dorothea with emotion so strong that she is physically frozen except for her voice. She catches hold of something for a moment, as if reeling in a storm, then plunges to the bedroom door and rushes out into the living room with a dramatic door bang. Dorothea. Why didn't you get that phone? Bodie. Rising and going to the kitchenette at the right. Where? What? What phone? Dorothea. Is there more than one phone here? Are there several other phones I haven't discovered as yet? Bodie. Daddy, I think these setting up exercises get you overexcited. Emotional, I mean. Dorothea, continuing. That phone was ringing, and I told you when I woke up that I was expecting a phone call from Ralph Ellis, who told me he had something very important to tell me and would phone me today before noon. Bodie. Sure, he had something to tell you, but he didn't. Dorothea. Bodie, you are not hearing or comprehending what I'm saying at all. Your face is a dead giveaway. I said Ralph Ellis. You've heard me speak of Ralph. Bodie. Oh yes, Ralph. You speak continuously of him. That name Ralph Ellis is one I got fixed in my head so I could never forget it. Dorothea. Oh, you mean I'm not permitted to mention the name of Ralph Ellis to you? Bodie, preparing fried chicken in the kitchenette. Dottie, when two girls are sharing a small apartment, naturally each of the girls should feel perfectly free to speak of whatever concerns her. I don't think it's possible for two girls sharing a small apartment not to speak of whatever concerns her, whenever, whatever concerns her. But Dottie, I know that I'm not your older sister. However, if I was, I would have a suspicion that you have got a crush on this Ralph Ellis. And, as an older sister, I'd feel obliged to advise you to, well, look before you leap in that direction. I mean, just don't put all your eggs in one basket till you are 100% convinced that the basket is the right one. That's all I mean. Well, this is a lovely Sunday for a picnic at Creve Coeur. Didn't you notice out at Creve Coeur last Sunday how Buddies slimmed down round the middle? Dorothea. No, I didn't. Bodie. Huh? Dorothea. Notice. Bodie. Well, it was noticeable, Dottie. Dorothea. Bodie, why should I be interested in whatever fractional fluctuations occur in your twin brother's waistline? as if it was the Wall Street market and I was a heavy investor. Bodhi, you mean you don't care if Buddy shapes up or not? Dorothea, shapes up for what? Bodhi, naturally for you, Dottie. Dorothea, does he regard me as an athletic event? The high jump or pole vault? Please, please, Bodhi, convince him his shape does not concern me at all. Bodhi, Buddy doesn't discuss his work with me often, but lately he said his boss at Anheuser-Busch has got an eye on him. Dorothea, how could his boss ignore such a sizable object? Bodhi, what are you up to in that cute little kitchenette? Bodhi, honey, I stopped by Piggly Wiggly's yesterday noon when I got off the streetcar on the way home from the office, and I picked up 3 beautiful friars, nice and plump friars. Dorothea, I'd better remain out here till Ralph calls back so I can catch it myself. She lies on the purple carpet and begins another series of formalized exercises. Bodhi, the fryers are sizzling so loud I didn't catch that, Dottie. Now that the office lets out at noon Saturday, it's easier to lay in supplies for Sunday. I think that Roosevelt did something for the country when he got us half Saturdays off, because it used to be that by the time I got off the streetcar from International Shoe, Piggly Wiggly's on the corner would be closed. But now it's still wide open. So I went in Piggly Wiggly's. I went to the meat department, and I said to the nice old man, Mr. Butts, the butcher, Mr. Butts, have you got any real nice fryers? You bet your life, he said. I must have been expecting you to drop in. Feel these nice plump fryers. Mr. Butts always lets me feel his meat. The feel of a piece of meat is the way to test it. But there's very few modern butchers will allow you to feel it. It's the German in me. I gotta feel the meat to know it's good. A piece of meat can look good over the counter, but to know for sure, I always want to feel it. Mr. Butts, being German, he understands that. Always says to me, feel it. Go on, feel it. So I felt the fryers. Don't they feel good and fresh? I said, yes, Mr. Butts, but will they keep till tomorrow? Haven't you got any ice in your icebox? He asked me. I said to him, I hope so, but ice goes fast in hot weather. I told the girl that shares my apartment with me to put up the card for a 25-pound lump of ice, but sometimes she forgets to. Well, thank goodness this time you didn't forget to. You always got so much on your mind in the morning, civics and other things at the high school. What are you laughing at, Dottie? She turns around to glance at Dorothea, who is covering her mouth to stifle breathless sounds of laughter. Dorothea, honestly, Bodhi, I think you're falling. You should be in Congress to deliver a filibuster. I never knew it was possible to talk at such length about ice and a butcher. Bodhi, well, Dottie, we agreed when you moved in here with me that I would take care of the shopping. We've kept good books on expenses. Haven't we kept good books? We've never had any argument over expense or disagreements between us over what I should shop for. Ow! Dorothea, now what? Bodhi, the skillet spit at me. Some hot grease flew in my face. Oh, I'll put baking soda on it. Dorothea, so you are really and truly frying chickens in this terrible heat? Bodhi, and boiling eggs. I'm going to make some deviled eggs, too. Dottie, what is it? You sound hysterical, Dottie. Dorothea, half strangled with laughter. Which came first? Fried chicken or deviled eggs? I swear to goodness, you do the funniest things. Honestly, Bodhi, you are a source of continual astonishment and amusement to me. Now, Bodhi, please suspend this culinary frenzy until the phone rings again so you can hear it this time before it stops ringing for me. Bodhi, Dottie, I was right here and that phone was not ringing. I give you my word that phone was not making a sound. It was quiet as a mouse. Dorothea, why, it was ringing its head off. Bodhi, Dottie, about some things everyone is mistaken, and this is something you are mistaken about. I think your exercises give you a ringing noise in your head. I think they're too strenuous for you, especially on Sunday, a day of rest, recreation. Dorothea. We are both entitled to separate opinions, Bodhi, but I assure you I do not suffer from ringing in my head. That phone was ringing. And why did you not hear it? And why you did not hear it is simply because you don't have your hearing aid on. The shouting is congruent with the fiercely bright colors of the interior. Bodhi. I honestly ain't that deaf. I swear I ain't that deaf, Dottie. The ear specialist says I just got this little calcification, this calcium in my eardrums. But I do hear a telephone ring, a sharp, loud sound like that. I hear it. I hear it clearly. Dorothea. Well, let's hope Ralph won't imagine I'm out and we'll call back in a while. But do put your hearing aid in. I don't share your confidence in your hearing a phone ring or a dynamite blast without it. And anyway, Bodhi, you must adjust to it. You must get used to it, and after a while, when you're accustomed to it, you won't feel complete without it. Bodhi. Yes, well, this is the best Sunday yet for a picnic at Creve Coeur. Dorothea. That we'll talk about later. Just put your hearing aid in before I continue with my exercise. Put it in right now so I can see you. Bodhi. You still ain't finished with those exercises? Dorothea. I've done 100 bends and I did my floor exercises. I just have these bust development exercises and my swivels and... Bodhi, put your hearing aid in. Bodhi. I hear you, honey. I will. I'll put it on right now. She comes into the living room from the kitchenette and picks up the hearing aid and several large artificial flowers from a table. She hastily moves the newspaper from the sofa to a chair behind her, then inserts the device in an ear with an agonized look. Oh, Dorothea, it can't be that difficult to insert it. Why, from your expression, you could be performing major surgery on yourself without anesthesia. Bodhi, I'm just not used to it yet. She covers the defective ear with an artificial chrysanthemum. Dorothea in the doorway. You keep reminding yourself of it by covering it up with those enormous artificial flowers. Now, if you feel you have to do that, why don't you pick out a flower that's suitable to the season? Chrysanthemums are for autumn, and this is June. Bodhi. Yes, June. How about this poppy? Dorothea. Well, frankly, dear, that big poppy is tacky. Bodhi. The tiger lily? Dorothea, despairing. Yes, the tiger lily. Of course, Bodhi. The truth of the matter is that your idea of concealing your hearing aid with a big artificial flower is ever so slightly fantastic. Bodhi. Everybody is sensitive about something. Dorothea. But complexes, obsessions must not be cultivated. Well, back to my exercises. Be sure not to miss the phone. Ralph is going to call me any minute now. She starts to close the bedroom door. Bodhi. Dottie? Dorothea. Yes? Bodhi. Dottie, I'm going to ask Buddy to go to Creve Coeur with us again today for the picnic. That's okay with you, huh? Dorothea, pausing in the doorway. Bodhi, Buddy is your brother, and I fully understand your attachment to him. He's got many fine things about him. A really solid character and all that, but Bodhi, I think it's unfair to Buddy for you to go on attempting to bring us together because, well, everyone has a type she is attracted to. In the case of Buddy, no matter how much I appreciate his sterling qualities and all, he simply isn't. She has gone into the bedroom and started swiveling her hips. Bodhi. Isn't what, Dottie? Dorothea. A type that I can respond to. You know what I mean? In a romantic fashion, honey. And to me, romance is essential. Bodhi. Oh, but, well, there's other things to consider besides romance. Dorothea swiveling her hips as she talks. Bodhi, can you honestly feel that Buddy and I are exactly right for each other? Somehow I suspect that Buddy would do better looking about for a steady German-type girl in South St. Louis. A girl to drink beer with and eat Wiener Schnitzel and get fat along with him. Not a girl already romantically... Pour me a little coffee. Thanks. Why do you keep forgetting the understanding between me and Mr. Ellis? Is that fair to Buddy? To build up his hopes for an inevitable letdown? Dorothea stops her swivels and returns to the living room to get the coffee Bodhi has poured for her. Bodhi. This is Mr. T. Ralph Ellis. Well, Dorothea. Well, what? Bodhi. Nothing, except Dorothea. What? Bodhi. He might not be as reliable as Buddy in the long run. Dorothea. What is the long run, honey? Bodhi. The long run is life. Dorothea. Oh, so that is the long run. The long run is life. With Buddy? Well, then give me the short run. I'm sorry, but I'll take the short run. Much less exhausting in the heat of the day and the night. Bodhi. Dottie. I tell you, Dottie, in the long run or the short run, I'd place my bet on Buddy. Not on a fly-by-night sort of proposition like this romantic idea you got about a man that mostly you see wrote up in society pages. Dorothea. That is your misconception of something about which you are in total ignorance, because I rarely step out of the civics classroom at Blewett without seeing Ralph Ellis a few steps down the corridor, pretending to take a drink at the water cooler on my floor, which is 2 floors up from his office. Bodhi. Not really taking a drink, but just pretending? Not a good sign, Dottie. Pretending. Dorothea. What I mean is, we have to arrange secret little encounters of this sort to avoid gossip at Blewett. Bodhi. Well, Dorothea. What? Bodhi. I never trusted pretending. Dorothea. Then why the paper flowers over the hearing aid, dear? Bodhi. That's just a little sensitivity there. Dorothea. Look, you've got to live with it, so take off the concealment, the paper tiger lily, and turn the hearing aid up, or I will be obliged to finish my hip swivels out here to catch Ralph's telephone call. Bodhi. As she is turning up the hearing aid, it makes a shrill sound. Ugh. See? See? Dorothea. I think you mean here? Here? Turn it down just a bit. Find the right level for it. Bodhi. Yes, I... She fumbles with the hearing aid, dislodging the paper flower. Dorothea. For heaven's sake, let me adjust it for you. She rushes over to Bodhi and fiddles with the hearing aid. Now! Not shrieking, but can you hear me? I said, can you hear me? At this level? Bodhi. Yes. Where's my tiger lily? Dorothea. Dropped on the fierce purple carpet. Here. She picks it up and hands it to Bodhi. What's wrong with you? Bodhi. I'm upset. Over this maybe dangerous trust you've got in Ralph Ellis's intentions. Dorothea, dreamily, eyes going soft. I don't like discussing an intimate thing like this, but the last time I went out in Ralph Ellis's Rio, that new sedan he's got called the Flying Cloud. Bodhi. Cloud? Flying? Dorothea, raising her voice to a shout. The Rio is advertised as the Flying Cloud. Bodhi. Oh, yes. He'd be attracted to that. Dorothea. It was pouring down rain and Art Hill was deserted. No other cars on it but Ralph and I and his Rio. The windows curtained with rain that glistened in the lamplight. Bodhi. Dottie, I hope you're not leading up to something that shouldn't have happened in this flying cloud on Art Hill. It really scares me, Dottie. Dorothea. Frankly, I was a little frightened myself, because we've never had this kind of discussion before. It's rather difficult for me, but you must understand. I've always drawn a strict line with a man till this occasion. Bodhi. Dottie, do you mean... Dorothea. It was so magical to me. The windows curtained with rain, the soft look in his eyes, the warmth of his breath that's always scented with clove, his fingers touching so gently as he... Bodhi. Dottie, I don't think I want to know any more about this experience on Art Hill, because Because I got a suspicion, Dottie, that you didn't hold the line with him. Dorothea. The line just didn't exist. When he parked the car and turned and looked at me, and I looked and turned at him. Our eyes. Bodhi, your eyes? Dorothea burned the line out of existence like it had never existed. Bodhi, I'm not going to tell this to Buddy. Dorothea, I wasn't aware until then that the Rio was equipped with adjustable seats. Bodhi, seats that, Dorothea, adjusted to pressure, yes, reclined beneath me when he pushed a lever. Bodhi, distracted from the phone book which she had begun to leaf through. How far did this seat recline beneath you, Dottie? Dorothea, horizontally, nearly. So gradually, though, that I didn't know till later. Later, not then, the earth was whirling beneath me and the sky was spinning above. Bodhi, oh, he got you drunk, did he? With a flask of liquor and that flying cloud on... Dorothea, drunk on a single pink lady? Bodhi, pink? Dorothea, lady, the mildest sort of cocktail, made with slow gin and grenadine. Bodhi, the gin was slow, maybe, but that man is a fast one. Seducing a girl with adjustable seats and a flask of liquor and that flying cloud on... Dorothea, not a flask, a cocktail. And not in the Rio, but in a small private club called the Onyx. A club so exclusive he had to present an engraved card at the entrance. Bodhi, oh yes, I know such places. Dorothea, how would you know such places? Bodhi, I seen one at the movies, and so did you. At the West End Lyric, the last time you was all broke up from expecting a call from this Ellis which never came in. So we seen Roy Darcy take poor Janet Gaynor to one of them private clubs to... Bodhi has not found the Blewett number in the phone book. She dials the operator. Blewett. Get me the high school named Blewett. Dorothea, Bodhi, what are you doing at that phone, which I begged you not to use till Ralph is called? Bodhi, reporting him to Blewett? Dorothea, Bodhi, that takes the cake. Reporting on the principal of Blewett to Blewett that's closed on Sundays. What a remarkable... Bodhi, darting about. Paper. Pen. Dorothea, now what? Bodhi, a written report to the Board of Education of St. Louis. I tell you, that board will be interested in all details of how that principal of the school system got you lying down drunk and defenseless in his flying cloud in a storm on Art Hill. Every advantage taken with Valentino chic tricks on an innocent teacher of civics just up from Memphis. Dorothea, you will not. Bodhi, don't tell me not. Dorothea, libel the reputation of a man that I love, gave myself to, not just freely, but with abandon, with joy. Bodhi, aloud as she writes, Board of Education of St. Louis, Missouri. I think you should know that your principal at Blewett used his position to take disgusting advantage of a young teacher employed there by him for that purpose. I know. I got the facts, including the date. And Dorothea snatches up and crumples the letter. My letter? You tore up my... Dorothea, Bodhi, if you had written and mailed that letter, do you know that what you'd have obliged me to do? I would be morally obliged to go personally down to the Board of Education and tell them an opposite story, which happens to be the true one, that I desired Ralph Ellis, possibly even more than he did me. Bodhi huffs and puffs wordlessly till she can speak. Bodhi, well, God help you, Dottie, but I give you my word I won't repeat this to Buddy. Dorothea, how does it concern Buddy? Bodhi, it concerns Buddy and me because Buddy's got deep feelings and respect for you, Dottie. He would respect you too much to cross the proper line before you had stood up together in the First Lutheran Church on South Grand. Dorothea, now you admit it. Bodhi, It's you that's making admissions of a terrible kind that might shock Buddy out of his serious intentions. Dorothea, you are admitting that, as she had threatened, Dorothea has begun doing her hip swivels in the living room. But now she stops and stares indignantly at Bodhi. You've been deliberately planning and plotting to marry me off to your twin brother so that my life would be just one long Creve Coeur picnic, interspersed with knockwurst, sauerkraut, hot potato salad dinners. Would I be asked to prepare them, even in summer? I know what you Germans regard as the limits, the boundaries of a woman's life. Kirche, Kucha, and Kinder, while being asphyxiated gradually by cheap cigars. I'm sorry, but the life I design for myself is not along those lines or in those limits. My life must include romance. Without romance in my life, I could no more live than I could without breath. I've got to find a partner in life, or my life will have no meaning. But what I must have and finally do have is an affair of the heart. Two hearts. A true consummated romance. Yes, consummated. I'm not ashamed. She gasps and sways. Bodhi. Dottie, sit down and catch your breath. In this breathless sufficiency apartment, I've got to have space in my life. Bodhi. Did I tell you that Buddy has made a down payment on a Buick? Dorothea. No, you didn't. And why should you, as it does not concern... Oh my God, blessed Savior. Bodhi. Dottie? What Dottie? Do you want your whatchamacallit tablets? Dorothea. Meberol? No. I have not collapsed yet, but you've just about driven me to it. Bodhi. Take a breather. Take a seventh inning stretch while I... Dorothea. Bodhi, this room is glaring. It's not cheerful, but glaring. Bodhi. Stretch out on the sofa and look up. The ceiling is white. Dorothea. I don't know why I'm so out of breath today. Bodhi. Don't do no more exercises. You drink too much coffee and cokes. That's stimulants for a girl high-strung like you, with a nervous heart condition. Dorothea. It's functional, not nervous. Bodhi. Lie down a minute. Dorothea. I will rest a little, but not because you say so. Between gasps, she sinks into a chair. You're very bossy, and very inquisitive, too. Bodhi. I'm older than you, and I got your interests at heart. Dorothea. Whew. Bodhi. Think how cool it will be on the open-air streetcar to Creve Coeur. Dorothea. You must have had your hearing aid off when I said I had other plans. Bodhi. Buddy, I've been telling Buddy to cut down on his beer, and Buddy is listening to me. He's cut down to 8 a day, from a dozen, and will cut down more. Dorothea. Bodhi, could you stop talking about Buddy this hot Sunday morning? It's not a suitable subject for hot weather. I know brother-sister relationships are deep, but it's not just the beer. It's the almost total lack of interest in common. No topics of conversations, of mutual interest. Bodhi. They could develop. I know Buddy just feels embarrassed. He hasn't opened up yet. Give him time and he will. Dorothea. Bodhi, this discussion is embarrassingly pointless in view of the fact that I'm already committed to Ralph Ellis. I still have to do my hip swivels. Sipping coffee as she goes, Dorothea returns to the bedroom and resumes her exercises. Bodhi, rushing to the phone. Olive 2697. Olive 2697, buddy. Me. Grosser Gott. I can't talk now, but you've absolutely got to go to Creve Coeur with us this Sunday. Dress good. Don't smoke cigars, and laugh at her witty remarks. Well, they are. They're witty. She teaches civics. The doorbell rings. Now be at the Creve Coeur station at 1:30, huh? Please. Somebody's at the door. I can't talk now. Leaving the phone off the hook, she rushes to the door and opens it. Oh, hello. Helena. Good morning. Bodhi. Are you a friend of Dottie's? A stylishly dressed woman with eyes of a predatory bird appears. Helena. Of Dorothea's? Yes. Bodhi. Well, then come on in. Any friend of Dottie's is a friend of mine. Helena. Is that so? Bodhi, discomfited. Yes, I got grease on my hand. I was frying up some chickens for a picnic. Helena. Well, this is a surprise. She makes several turns in a mechanical, rigid fashion, eyes staring. Bodhi. Excuse me, I should have introduced myself. Helena. You are Miss Bodenheifer? Heifer? Bodhi. Heifer, not heifer. She laughs nervously. Heifer meaning a cow. Helena. No conscious association whatsoever. She advances forward a step. So this is Schlagerhaven? Bodhi. Oh, Schlagerhaven, that's just a joke of Dottie's. The landlord's name is Schlager. That's all. That's all. Helena. Dorothea was joking, was she? Bodhi. Yeah, she jokes a lot. Full of humor. We have lots of laughs. Bodhi extends her hand. Helena. I can imagine you might, Miss Bodenheffer. Bodhi. You can forget the miss. Everyone at the office calls me Bodhi. Helena. But we are not at the office. We are here in Schlagerhaven. She continues enigmatically. I never ventured this side of Blewett before. Bodhi. Never gone downtown? Helena. I do nearly all my shopping in the West End, so naturally it amazed me to discover street after street without a shade tree on it. And the glare, and the heat refracted by all the brick, concrete, asphalt, so overpowering that I nearly collapsed. I think I must be afflicted with a combination of photo and heliophobia, both. Bodhi. Unconsciously retreating a step as if fearing contagion. I never heard of neither. But you got both? Helena. An exceptional sensitivity to both heat and strong light. Bodhi. Ah. Helena. Yes. Now would you please let Dorothea know I'm here to see her? Bodhi. Does Dottie expect you, Miss, Helena? Helena Brookmeyer. No. She doesn't expect me, but a very urgent business matter has obliged me to drop by this early. Bodhi. She won't have no one in there with her. She's exercising. Helena. But Dorothea and I are well acquainted. Bodhi. Well, acquainted or not acquainted at all makes no difference. I think that modern girls emphasize too much these advertised treatments and keep their weight down too much for their health. Helena. The preservation of youth requires some sacrifices. She continues to stare about her, blinking her bird-like eyes as if dazzled. Bodhi. I guess you and Dottie teach each other at Blewett High? Helena. Separately. Bodhi. You mean you're not at Blewett where Dottie teaches civics? Helena. As if addressing a backward child. I teach there too. When I said separately, I meant we teach separate classes. Bodhi. Oh, naturally, yes. She tries to laugh. I've been to high school. Helena. Have you? Bodhi. Yes, I know that two teachers don't teach in the same class at the same time on two different subjects. Helena, opening her eyes very wide. Wouldn't that be peculiar? Bodhi. Yes, that would be peculiar. Helena, chuckling unpleasantly. It might create some confusion among the students. Bodhi. Yes, I reckon it would. Helena. Especially if the subjects were as different as civics and the history of art. Bodhi attempts to laugh again. Helena imitates the laugh almost exactly. Pause. It really is. Bodhi. Is what? Helena. The most remarkable room that I've ever stepped into. Especially the combination of colors. Such a vivid contrast. May I sit down? Bodhi. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm not myself today. It's the heat and the... Helena. Colors? The vivid contrast of colors? She removes a pair of round, white-rimmed dark glasses from her purse and puts them on. Did Dorothea assist you, Miss Bodenheffer, in decorating this room? Bodhi. No. When Dottie moved in, it was just like it is now. Helena. Then you are solely responsible for this inspired selection of colors. There's a loud sputter of hot fat from the kitchenette. Bodhi. Excuse me a moment. I gotta turn over the fryers in the skillet. Helena. Don't let me interrupt your preparations for a picnic. Bodhi. Didn't catch that? I don't hear good sometimes. Helena. Oh? Bodhi. You see, I got this calcium deposit in my ears, and they advised me to have an operation, but it's very expensive for me, and sometimes it don't work. Phone voice. Bodhi. Helena notices but doesn't comment on the unhooked phone. Helena. I would advise you against it. I had an elderly acquaintance who had this calcification problem, and she had a hole bored in her skull to correct it. The operation is called fenestration. It involves a good deal of danger, and whether or not it was successful could not be determined since she never recovered consciousness. Bodhi. Never recovered? Helena. Consciousness. Bodhi. Yeah, well, I think maybe I'd better learn to live with it. Phone voice shouting again. Bodhi? Bodhi? Bodhi. What's that? Helena. I was wondering too. Very strange barking sounds are coming out of the phone. Bodhi, laughing. Oh God, I left it unhooked. She snatches it up. Buddy, sorry, somebody just dropped in. Forgot she was still on the line. Buddy, call me back in a few minutes, huh? Buddy, it's, very important. She hangs up the phone. That was my brother, Buddy. He says he had drunk 2 beers and made him a liverwurst sandwich before I got back to the phone. Thank God he is so good-natured. He and me are going out on a picnic at Creve with Dottie this afternoon. My brother is very interested in Dottie. Helena. Interested? Romantically? Buddy. Oh yes, Buddy's a very serious person. Helena, rising. I am very impressed. Bodhi. By what? What by? Helena, with disguised fury. The ingenuity with which you fitted yourself into this limited space. Every inch seems to be utilized by some appliance or decoration. She picks up a large painted china frog. A frag? Bodhi. Yes, frog. Helena. So realistically colored and designed you'd almost expect it to croak. Oh, and you have a canary stuffed. Bodhi. Little Hilda. She lived 10 years. That's the limit for a canary. Helena. Limit of longevity for the species? Bodhi. She broke it by 3 months. Helena. Establishing a record. It's quite heroic, enduring more than 10 years in such confinement. What tenacity to existence some creatures do have. Bodhi. I got so attached to it, I took it to Helena, taxidermist. Bodhi. Excuse me a moment. She rushes to the stove in the alcove. Ah! Got burnt again. Helena, following curiously. You were burnt before? Bodhi profusely powders her arms with baking soda. Helena backs away. Miss Bodenheffer, please, you've sprinkled my clothes with that powder. Bodhi, sorry, I didn't mean to. Helena, intentional or not, I'm afraid you have. May I have a clothes brush? Bodhi, look at that, I spilt it on the carpet. She rushes to fetch a broom. Helena, Miss Bodenheffer, I would like a clothes brush if you have a clothes brush. Not a broom, I'm not a carpet. Bodhi, aw, sure. Dottie's got a clothes brush. Oh, help yourself to some coffee. She drops the broom and enters the bedroom. Through the open door, Dorothea can be heard counting as she swivels. Dorothea's voice. 60, ha. 61, ha. She continues counting but stops when she notices Bodhi. The phone? Is it the phone? Bodhi. Clothes brush. Bodhi closes the bedroom door and begins opening and shutting drawers as she looks for the clothes brush. Dorothea. Don't. Slam a drawer shut like that. I feel like screaming. Helena opens a closet in the kitchenette. A box falls out. Helena. The hazards of this place almost equal the horrors. Dorothea in the bedroom. I asked you if the phone rang. Bodhi. No, the doorbell. Helena. Who has moved to the icebox? Uh, Ice mostly melted. What squalor? This duel scene must be carefully timed. Dorothea. I presume it's Miss Gluck from upstairs in boudoir cap and wrapper. Bodhi, get her out of here as quickly as possible. The sight of that woman destroys me for the whole day. Helena, still in the kitchenette. This remnant of ice will not survive in this steaming glass of coffee. A knock at the door is heard. What's that? Sophie Gluck opens the front door and sticks her head in. At the sight of Helena, she withdraws in alarm. Another tenant. Demented. Helena moves to the door and slams and bolts it with such force that Sophie, outside, utters a soft cry of confused panic. Bodhi. Don't do no more calisthenics if it affects you that way. Dorothea. Just knock at the door when Miss Gluck has gone back upstairs. That's my only request. Bodhi. Yes, well, Dorothea. No coffee, no crawlers, or she will stay down here forever. Ha! The phone rings. Helena picks it up. Bodhi emerges from the bedroom with a whisk broom, closing the door behind her. Helena is at the phone. Helena. Oh, she seems engaged for the moment. Bodhi. Oh, the phone. Is it that Principal Ellis? Helena, aside from the phone. I'm afraid not. It seems to be Dorothea's other admirer. Quelle embarrasse de richesse? Bodhi, rushing to the phone. Must be Buddy. Buddy? Well? Yeah, good. What suit you got on? Well, take it off. It don't look good on you, Buddy. Put on the striped suit. Buddy, in the polka dot tie. And Buddy, if you smoke a cigar at Creve Coeur, excuse yourself and smoke it in the bushes. Helena. This is Bodhi. That's right. Bye. Helena. Absolutely bizarre. You found a clothes brush? That's not a clothes brush. It's a whisk broom. Sorry, it doesn't look clean. Bodhi. Sorry, my nerves. Helena, taking it and brushing herself delicately here and there. What was that counting I heard? Is Dorothea counting something in there? Bodhi. She's counting her swivels in there. Helena. Swivels of what? Bodhi. Hip swivels. That's what. She's counting. Every morning she does 100 bends and 100 sit-ups and 100 hip swivels. Helena. Regardless of weather? Bodhi. That's right. Regardless of weather. Helena. And regardless of... Bodhi senses a touch of malice implicit in this unfinished sentence. Bodhi. What else, huh? Helena. Dorothea has always impressed me as an emotionally fragile type of person who might collapse. Just to suddenly collapse when confronted with the disappointing facts of a situation about which she'd allowed herself to have romantic illusions. It is now Bodhi's turn to say, No matter how, well, I hate to say foolish, but even intelligent girls can make mistakes of this nature. Of course, we all felt she was attaching too much importance to Bodhi. We all is who? Helena. Our little group at Blewett. Bodhi. Yeah, there's always a gossipy little group. Even down at International Shoe, where I work, there's a gossipy little group that feels superior to the rest of us. Well, personally, I don't want in with this gossipy little group because the gossip is malicious. Oh, they call it being concerned, but it's not the right kind of concern. Nah, I'd hate for that gossipy little group to feel concerned about me. Don't want that and don't need it. Helena. Understandably, yes. I will return this whisk broom to Dorothea. Bodhi. No, just return it to me. Helena. I have to speak to her, and in order to do that, I'll have to enter that room. So if you'll excuse me, I'll... She starts toward the bedroom. Bodhi snatches the whisk broom from her with a force that makes Helena gasp. Bodhi. Miss Brooksit, you're a visitor here, but the visit was not expected. Now, you excuse me, but I got to say, you sort of act like this apartment was yours. Helena. What a dismaying idea. I mean, Bodhi, and excuse me or don't excuse me, but I got a very strong feeling that you've got something in mind. All right, your mind is your mind. What's in it is yours, but keep it to yourself, huh? Helena, cutting in. Miss Bodenheffer, you seem to be implying something that's a mystery to me. Bodhi. You know what I mean, and I know what I mean, so where's the mystery, huh? Dorothea, calling from the bedroom. Is somebody out there, Bodhi? Bodhi, just Sophie Gluck. Dorothea. Oh, Lord. Helena, what was that you called me? Bodhi, I told Dottie that you was Miss Gluck from upstairs. Helena, Gluck? Bodhi, yeah, Miss Gluck is a lady upstairs that comes downstairs to visit. Helena, she comes down to see Dorothea? Bodhi, no, more to see me and to drink coffee. She lost her mother and she's got a depression so bad she can't make coffee. So I save her a cup, keep her a cup in the pot. You know, for a single girl to lose a mother is a terrible thing. What else can you do? She ought to be down. Weekdays she comes down at 7. Well, this is Sunday. Helena. Yes, this is Sunday. Bodhi. Sundays she comes down for coffee and a cruller at 10. Helena. Cruller? What is a cruller? Bodhi. You call it a donut, but me being German was raised to call it a cruller. Helena. Oh, a cruller is a donut, but you call it a cruller. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I will go in there and relieve Dorothea of the mistaken impression that I am Miss Gluck from upstairs who has come down for coffee and cruller. Bodhi. Oh no, don't interrupt her calisthenics. Hella ignores this admonition and opens the bedroom door. Dorothea. Why, Helena Brookmeyer! What a surprise! I look a mess. Helena. I heard this counting and gasping. Inquired what was going on. Your friend, Miss, what? Dorothea. You've met Mrs. Bodenhaver? Helena. Yes, she received me very cordially. We've dispensed with introductions. She says any friend of yours is a friend of hers and wants me to call her Bodie, as they do at the office. Excuse me, Miss Bodenheffer, I must have a bit of private conversation. Helena closes the bedroom door, shutting out Bodie. Dorothea. Well, I wasn't expecting a visitor today. Obviously not this early. You see, I never receive a visitor here. Is there something too urgent to hold off till Monday, Helena? Helena. Have our negotiations with the realty firm of Orthwine and Muller slipped your flighty mind? Dorothea. Oh, the real estate people. But surely on Sunday. Helena. Mr. Orthwine called Cousin Dee Dee last night, and she called me this morning that now the news has leaked out, and there's competitive bidding for the apartment on Westmoreland Place, and the deal must be settled at once. Dorothea. You mean by Helena, immediate payment? Yes, to pin it down. Dorothea. Today? Sunday? Helena. The sanctity of a Sunday must sometimes be profaned by business transactions. Bodhi has now entered. Dorothea. Helena, if you'll just have some coffee and wait in the living room, I will come out as soon as I've showered and dressed. Bodhi. Yeah, do that. You're embarrassing Dottie, so come back out. And Bodhi almost drags Helena out of the bedroom, kicking the bedroom door shut. Helena. Gracious! Bodhi. Yes, gracious here. Sit down, I'll get you some coffee. Helena with a sharp laugh. She said, I look a mess, and I couldn't contradict her. Bodhi. Here, your coffee, your cruller. Helena, haughtily. I don't care for the cruller, as you call it. Pastries are not included in my diet. However, I'd like a clean napkin. You've splashed coffee everywhere. Bodhi. Sure, we got plenty of napkins. You name it, we got it. She thrusts a paper napkin at Helena like a challenge. Helena. This paper napkin is stained. Would you please give me... Bodhi. Take 'em all. You stained that napkin yourself. She thrusts the entire pile of napkins at Helena. Helena, you shoved the cup at me so roughly the coffee splashed. Helena fastidiously wipes the tabletop. There is a rap at the door. Bodhi. Oh, that's Sophie Gluck. Helena, I don't care to meet Miss Gluck. Bodhi. Will you sit down so I can let in Sophie Gluck? Helena. So if you're going to admit her, I will take refuge again in Dorothea's bedroom. There's another matter I've come here to. Bodhi. Seizing Helena's arm as she crosses toward the bedroom. I know what you're up to. Just a minute, bitte, Sophie. I can guess the other matter you just can't hold your tongue about, but you're going to hold it. It's not going to be mentioned to cloud over the day and spoil the Creve Coeur picnic for Dottie, Buddy, and me. Come in, Sophie. Then to Helena fiercely. You sit back down. During this altercation, Dorothea has been standing in the bedroom, paralyzed with embarrassment and dismay. Now she calls sweetly through the door, opened a crack. Dorothea. Bodhi? Bodhi, what is going on out there? How could a phone be heard above this shouting? Oh, my blessed Savior, I was born on a Sunday, and I am convinced that I shall die on a Sunday. Could you please tell me what is the cause of the nerve-shattering altercations going on out there? Helena. Dorothea, Miss Bodenhever is about to receive Miss Gluck. Dorothea. Oh no, Bodhi, entertain her upstairs. I'm not in shape for another visit today, especially not. Bodhi. Sophie, you have me worried about you. Helena. I'm afraid, Dorothea, your request has fallen upon a calcified eardrum. Bodhi. You come downstairs so late. Miss Gluck. Sie hat die Tür in mein Kopf zugeschlagen. Bodhi to Helena. You done that to Sophie. Helena. An unknown creature of demented entering like a sneak thief. Bodhi. My best friend in the building. Helena. What a pitiful admission. Bodhi. You come here uninvited, not by Dottie or me, since I never heard of you, but got the nerve to call my best friend in the building. Miss Gluck. Diese Frau ist ein Spion? Bodhi. What did you call her? Helena. I called that woman demented. What I would call you is intolerably offensive. Miss Gluck. Verstehen Sie Spy vom Irrenhaus? Bodhi. We live here, you don't. See the difference? Helena. Thank God for the difference. Vive la différence. Dorothea, coming just inside the living room. Helena, Bodhi. Helena. Be calm, Dorothea. Don't get overexcited. Miss Gluck. Zwei Jahre. 2 years. Dorothea. Why is she coming at me like this? Miss Gluck. State asylum. Bodhi. You come here to scrounge money out of Dottie, which she ain't got. Miss Gluck. Sie ist hier. Mich noch einmal am Irrenhaus zu bringen. To take back the hospital. Helena. Aside from the total inaccuracy of your assumption and the insulting manner in which you express it, as you very well know, Dorothea and I are both employed at Blewett. We are both on salary there, and I have not come here to involve myself in your social group, but to rescue my colleague from it. Bodhi. All right, you put it your way. It adds up to the same thing. You want money from Dottie, which she ain't got to give you. Dottie is broke, flat broke, and she's been on a big buy-in spree. So big that just last night I had to loan her the price of a medium bottle of Golden Glow shampoo. And not only that, I had to go purchase it for her because she come home exhausted. Dottie was too exhausted to walk to the drugstore. Well, I was tired too after my work at International Shoe and Shopping. But out I hoofed it to Liggett's and forked out the 49 cents for the medium-sized Golden Glow from my own pockets. Money I set aside for incidentals at the Creve Coeur picnic. There's always. Helena cutting in. Miss Bodenhefer, you certainly have a gift for the felicitous phrase such as, out you hoofed it to Liggett's. Sorry, but it does evoke an image. Bodhi. I know what you mean by hoof it, since you keep repeating heifer, not heifer. I'm not too dumb like which you regard me to know why you're struck so funny by hoof it. Helena. You said hoofed it, not me. Bodhi. You keep saying heifer, not hafer. Me, I'm a sensitive person with feelings, I feel. But sensitive to you, I am not. Insults from you bounce off me. I just want you to know that you come here shaking your tin cup at the wrong door. As a soft but vibrant counterpoint to this exchange, Sophie, sobbing and rolling her eyes like a rigoloose, in a state of sorrowful vision, continues her slow shuffle toward Dorothea as she repeats in German an account of her violent ejection by Helena. Dorothea breathlessly. Bodhi, what is she saying? Translate and explain to her. I have no knowledge of German. Helena. Babbling. Just lunatic babbling. Helena. Bodhi. 1 minute. 1 minute, Dottie. I gotta explain to this woman she's wasting her time here and yours. And had the moxie to slam Sophie out of the door. Helena. Miss Bodenheffer, it's useless to attempt to intimidate me. I would like the use of your phone for a moment. Then, Dorothea, no calls on the phone. Bodhi. Dottie don't want this phone used. She's expecting a call to come in. But there is a payphone at Liggett's 3 blocks east on West Pine and Pearl. Helena. Drugstores are shut on Sundays. Dorothea. Quiet. Listen. All. This thing's getting out of hand. Helena. I want only to call a taxi for myself and for Dorothea. She's trapped here and should be removed at once. You may not know that just 2 weeks after she came to Blewett, she collapsed on the staircase. And the staff doctor examined her and discovered that Dorothea is afflicted with neurocirculatory asthenia. Dorothea has disappeared behind the sofa. Miss Gluck is looking down at her with lamentations. Miss Gluck. Bodhi? Bodhi. Moment, Sophie. Miss Gluck. Dottie? Dottie. Helena. What is she saying? Where's Dorothea? Bodhi. Dottie? Miss Gluck. Here, auf dem Fußboden. Ist fallen. Helena. This Gluck creature has thrown Dorothea onto the floor. Bodhi. Got him. Wo ist Dottie? Helena. The Gluck has flung her to the floor behind the sofa. Bodhi. Dottie. Helena. Dorothea, I'm calling us a cab. Is she conscious? Dorothea. Meveril. Tablet. Quick. Bodhi. Meveril's where? Sophie wails loudly. Dorothea. My pocketbook. Bodhi. Hold on now. Slowly. Slowly. Dorothea. Meveril. Tablets. Helena. My physician told me those tablets are only prescribed for persons with extreme nervous tension and asthenia. Bodhi. Will you goddamn shut up? Daddy, you just need to... Helena. What she needs is to stop these strenuous exercises and avoid all future confrontations with that lunatic from upstairs. Bodhi. Daddy, let me lift you. Dorothea. Oh, no. I can't. I'm paralyzed, Bodhi. Bodhi. Hey, you brooks it. Take Dottie's other arm. Help me carry her to her bed, will ya? Sophie is moaning through clenched fists. Helena. All right, but then I shall call my physician. Dorothea is carried into the bedroom and deposited on the bed. Sophie props pillows behind her. Dorothea. Bodhi. Tablets. Bathroom. In your pocketbook. Bodhi rushes into the bathroom, then out with a small bottle. Dorothea raises a hand weakly and Bodhi drops tablets in it. Dottie, don't swallow. That's 3 tablets. Dorothea. My sherry to wash it down with. Bodhi. Dottie, take out the 2 extra tablets, Dottie. Helena. Sherry? Did she say sherry? Where is it? Dorothea. There. Bodhi. Dottie, open your mouth. I gotta take out those extras. Helena. No glass. You must drink from the bottle. Bodhi. No. Helena. Stop clutching at me. Miss Gluck utters a terrified wail. Dorothea drinks from the bottle and falls back onto the pillow with a gasp. Bodhi, so angry she speaks half in German. You Schwein, you bitch. Alta Häuser Katze. She then goes on in English. You wash 3 tablets down, Dottie. Dorothea, now will you both get out so I can breathe? Helena, the door is obstructed by Gluck. Bodhi, Sophie, go out. Sophie, go out of here with me for coffee and crullers. Sobbing, Sophie retreats. Bodhi grabs a strong hold of Helena's wrist. Helena, let go of my wrist. Oh my god, you have broken. I heard a bone snap in my. Bodhi, walk. Out. Move it. Helena, turning quickly about and retreating behind the sofa. Miss Bodenheffer, you are a one-woman demonstration of the aptness of the term Huns for Germans. And incidentally, what you broke was not my wrist, but my Cartier wristwatch, a birthday present from my cousin Dee. You shattered the crystal, and you broken the minute hand and bent the 2 others. I'm afraid the repair bill will cost you considerably more than keeping Dorothea in Golden Glow shampoo. Bodhi, it's all right, Sophie. Sit down here and I'll. Coffee's still hot for you. Have a couple of crullers. Blow your nose on this napkin, and Helena laughs tonelessly. What's funny? Is something funny? You never been depressed. No sorrows in your life ever. Yeah. And you call yourself a human. Helena. Really, this is fantastic as the color scheme of the room or the view through the windows. In the bedroom, Dorothea has staggered from the bed and stumbled to the floor. Dorothea. Bodhi? Helena. Dorothea? Bodhi calling through. Dottie? Helena. You really must let me check on her condition. Dorothea in the bedroom. Don't forget. Phone call. Bodhi. No, Dottie. Dorothea faintly clinging to something. Tell Miss Brookmeyer I retired for the day. Helena. What? Bodhi. She's not coming out. She's not coming out till you leave here. Bodhi bolts the bedroom door. Helena. I beg to differ. She will, and I'll sit here till she does. Miss Gluck has taken a bite of a cruller dunked in coffee and begins to blubber, the coffee-soaked cruller dribbling down her chin. Bodhi. Look, you upset Sophie. Miss Gluck. Eine Woche ver Sonntag meine Mutter. Bodhi comfortingly. Ich weiß, Sophie, ich weiß. Miss Gluck. Gestorben. Bodhi. But she went sudden, huh, Sophie? She crouches beside Miss Gluck, removing the dribblings of cruller and coffee from her mouth and chin. Helena. I don't understand the language, and the scene appears to be private. Bodhi. Yeah, keep out of it. She turns to Miss Gluck. Your mother, she didn't hang on like the doctor thought she would, Sophie. Now, face it. It was better sudden. No big hospital bill, just went and is waiting for you in heaven. Helena, with open arms. Helena, with open arms, I presume, and with coffee and crullers. Bodhi. So, Sophie, just be grateful that she went quick, with no pain. Miss Gluck, grotesquely tragic. Nein, sie hat geschrien. I woke up running. Bodhi. To her bed? You reached it and she was dead. Just one scream, it was over. Wasn't that a mercy? Helena laughs. Sophie, honey, this woman here is not sympathetic. She laughs at sorrow. So maybe you better take the coffee, the cruller. Here's another. Upstairs, Sophie, and when we get back from the Creve picnic, I will bring you beautiful flowers. Schöne Blumen. Then I'll come up and sing to you in German. I will sing you to sleep. Miss Gluck slowly rises with coffee and crullers. Bodhi conducts her gently to the door. Miss Gluck cries, Ich bin allein, in der Welt, friendlos. Bodhi. No, Sophie, that is negative thinking. Miss Gluck. Ich habe niemand in der Welt. Bodhi. Sophie, God is with you. I'm with you. Your mother, all your relations are waiting for you in heaven. Shepherding Miss Gluck into the hall, Bodhi repeats this assurance in German. Helena, sometimes despair is just being realistic. The only logical thing for certain persons to feel. She addresses herself with a certain seriousness now. Loss. Despair. I've faced them, and actually they have forfeited and protected, not overcome me at all. Bodhi in the hall with Miss Gluck. Okay? Wir test du Sophie? Helena, still ruminating privately. The weak. The strong. Only important division between living creatures. She nods bird-like affirmation. Miss Gluck remains visible in the hall, afraid to return upstairs. Miss Gluck. Allein. Allein. There's a change in the light. Helena moves a small chair downstage and delivers the following to herself. Helena. Allein. Allein means alone. Alone. A frightened look appears in her eyes. Last week I dined alone. Alone 3 nights in a row. There's nothing lonelier than a woman dining alone. And although I loathe preparing food for myself, I cannot bear the humiliation of occupying a restaurant table for one. Dining au solitaire. But I would rather starve than reduce my social standards by accepting dinner invitations from that middle-aged gaggle of preposterously vulgar old maids that wants to suck me into their gossip despite my total abhorrence of all they stand for. Loneliness in the company of 5 intellectually destitute spinsters is simply loneliness multiplied by 5. There's a crash in the hallway. Dorothea from the bedroom. Is it the phone? Helena. Another visit so soon? Miss Bodenheffer, your bereaved friend from upstairs is favoring you with another visit. Miss Gluck wildly. Mein Zimmer is gespuckt, gespuckt. Helena. Spooked? Spooked? Helena. Perhaps if you went up with her, it would despook the apartment. Bodhi. No, I gotta stay down and keep a sharp eye on you. Helena. Which means that that she will remain here? Bodhi. Long as she pleases to. What's it to you? She's got nothing contagious. You can't catch heartbreak if you've got no heart. Helena. May I suggest that you put her in the backyard in the sun? I think that woman's complexion could stand a touch of color. Bodhi. I'm putting her nowhere she don't want to be. How about you sitting in the backyard? Some natural color would do your face good for a change. Sensing the hostile vibes, Miss Gluck moans, swaying a little. Helena. Miss Bodenheffer, I will not dignify your insults with response or attention. Miss Gluck moans louder. Aren't you able to see that this Miss Gluck is mental, distressing to hear and to look at? Be that as it may, I shall wait. Bodhi. Sitting? Tight as a tombstone, huh? Helena. I can assure you that for me to remain in this place is at least as unpleasant to me as to you. She cries out to Dorothea, who is still in the bedroom. Dorothea? Dorothea, can you hear me? Dorothea clinging to something in the bedroom. See you, Blewett, tomorrow. Helena. No, at once, Dorothea. The situation out here is dreadful beyond endurance. Abruptly, Miss Gluck cries out, clutching her abdomen. Bodhi. Sophie, what is it, Sophie? Miss Gluck. Heiser Kaffe gibt mir immer Krampfe und Durchfall. This episode in the play must be handled carefully to avoid excessive scatology but keep the humor. Bodhi. You got the runs? Zem body zimmer? Sophie's got to go to the bathroom, Dottie. Dorothea. Hasn't she got one upstairs? Bodhi. After hot coffee, it gives her diarrhea. Dorothea. Must she have it down here? Miss Gluck in German. Kann nicht warten. Bodhi, she can't wait. Here, bathroom. Sophie, Badezimmer. Miss Gluck rushes through the bedroom into the bathroom. Dorothea. What a scene for Helena to report at Blewett. Miss Gluck, turn on the water faucets full force. Bodhi. Sophie, beide Wasser rennen. Dorothea. Bodhi, while I am here, don't serve her hot coffee again, since it results in these crises. Bodhi. Dottie, you know that Sophie's got this problem. Dorothea. Then send her coffee upstairs. Bodhi. Dottie, you know she needs companionship, Dottie. Dorothea. That I can provide her with just now. That I cannot provide her with just now. Bodhi returns to the living room. Helena. How did Dorothea react to Miss Gluck's sudden indisposition? Bodhi. Dottie's a girl that understands human afflictions. There is a crash in the bathroom. Dorothea. Phone. Ralph's call. Has he? Did he? Bodhi. Phone? Dottie? No. No phone. Helena. I wouldn't expect Bodhi to Helena. Watch it. Helena. Watch what, Miss Bodenheffer? What is it you want me to watch? Bodhi. That mouth of yours. The tongue in it. With such a tongue in a mouth, you could dig your grave with like a shovel. Helena. Her laughter tinkling like ice in a glass. The syntax of that sentence was rather confusing. You know, I suspect that English is not your native language, but one that you've not quite adequately adopted. Bodhi. I was born on South Grand, a block from Tower Grove Park in this city of St. Louis. Helena. Ah, the German section. Your parents were German-speaking? Bodhi. I learned plenty English at school. Had 8 grades and a year of business college. Helena. I see. Forgive me. She turns to a window, possibly in the fourth wall. Is a visitor permitted to look out the window? Bodhi. A visitor like you're permitted to jump out it. A visitor like you's permitted to jump out it. Helena, laughing indulgently. With so many restrictions placed on one's speech and actions, Bodhi turns up her hearing aid so high that it screeches shrilly. Dorothea. Is it the phone? Helena. Please. Is it controllable, that electric hearing device? Bodhi. What did you say? The screeching continues. Helena. Ow. Ow. Bodhi finally manages to turn down the hearing aid. Dorothea. Oh, please bring a mop, Bodhi. Water streaming under the bathroom door. Miss Gluck's flooded the bathroom. Bodhi. What? Bring? Helena. Mop. Mop. Helena moves toward the bedroom door, but Bodhi shoves her back. Bodhi. Stay put. Stay put. Bodhi grabs a mop from the closet and then rushes into the bedroom. Dorothea. See? Water. Flooding. Bodhi. You told her to turn on both faucets. Sophie? Halte das Wasser ab, Sophie. Bodhi opens the bathroom door and thrusts in the mop. Here, das Wurst, Sophie. Dorothea to herself. This is indescribable to me. I simply do not believe it. She then speaks to Bodhi, who has started back toward the living room. May I detain you a moment? The truth has finally struck me. Ralph's calls have been intercepted. He has been repeatedly calling me on that phone, and you have been just as repeatedly lying to me that he hasn't. Bodhi. Lying to? Dorothea. Yes, lying. She stumbles to the door of the bedroom. Helena, will you please watch that phone for me now? Helena, crossing to the bedroom door. I'm afraid, Dorothea, that a watched phone never rings. Bodhi emerges from the bedroom. She and Helena return to the living room while Dorothea retreats to the bed, shutting the door behind her. What a view through this window. Totally devoid of, why no, a living creature, a pigeon, capable of flight but perched for a moment in this absolute desolation. Interval.